there a best time to walk or exercise for optimal fat loss, weight loss, and health benefits? Yes is the answer to that question. Hi, I'm Dr. Sebely Pal, a professor in bariatric medicine. I've published over 90 papers in lifestyle medicine. And so in today's video, I'm going to turn to the research studies to show you the evidence of when is the right time to walk or move your body to get the best bang for your buck when it comes to fat loss and health. So let's get into it and frame this discussion by explaining how and when your body is geared up to burn fat so you can time your walks around this. First, when insulin levels are low in your bloodstream, you are in optimal fat burning mode. However, after eating a mixed meal, the body goes into fat storage. This is because the food entering into the bloodstream causes a blood sugar spike, subsequently increasing insulin secretion from the pancreas. While the secreted insulin is floating around in your bloodstream, it will essentially block fat burning in your body. Collectively, all this means is that if you eat any carbohydrate, your body will shift from fat burning to fat storage. So ideally, you want your insulin levels in your blood to be low. Now that I've explained this concept, the rest of what I'm about to say will make sense. Timing of your activity matters for fat burning. Going for a walk first thing in the morning is beneficial for fat burning. The reason is that your body enters a naturally fasted state when you're asleep at night because your last meal was probably around 10 to 12 hours ago. Therefore, elevated blood sugar from the previous meal has decreased and your insulin levels are also now low. In this fasted state of low blood sugar and insulin, your body naturally shifts into a fat-burning mode. So the longer you can stay in this state, the better you are. However, if you've had breakfast immediately upon waking, then you will raise your blood sugar levels. This will then trigger the release of insulin, which will effectively block fat burning in your body. Essentially, you switch off your fat burning when you have breakfast. Therefore, going for a walk before having breakfast, your body is still in that naturally fasted state. Your blood sugar levels are quite low, and so are your insulin levels, meaning upon waking, it's still naturally burning fat as its preferred fuel source. Additionally, if you're walking at a moderate intense pace where you can still carry out a conversation, then you will be maximizing fat burning during this activity. However, the intensity of your exercise matters in the morning in this fasted state. So if you do high intensity activity like running, this intense exercise can shift your body towards sugar burning. This is because high-intensity exercise uses glucose rather than fat. Your body gets the glucose from glycogen stored in your muscles and liver. That's why sticking to a moderate pace during your morning walks will help you maintain fat utilization. Watch my previous video on exercise intensity and fat burning for details on this. How long should you walk? Aim for about 15 minutes if you don't have much time. Ideally, 30 to 60 minutes would even be better. These longer walks enhance fat burning. So morning walks before breakfast on an empty stomach can be simple yet effective way to promote fat burning. And this can lead to effective fat loss, especially if you're on a calorie deficit diet. Some research studies even suggest that it's easier to stick to healthy habits completed in the morning. Research suggests that morning exercisers may have less of an appetite throughout the rest of the day, which can also help protect them from putting on weight. New research out from BYU shows that 45 minutes of moderate to vigorous exercise in the morning actually reduces a person's motivation for food. The study published in the Medicine and Science, Sports and Exercise measured the food motivation of 18 normal weight women and 17 clinically obese women over 2 separate days. On the first day, each woman briskly walked on a treadmill for 45 minutes and then within the hour had their brainwaves measured. Electrodes were attached to each participant's scalp and an EEG machine then measured their neural activity while they looked at 240 images. 120 of plated food meals and 120 of flowers. Flowers served as a control. When the women did 45-minute exercise bout, not only did it produce lower brain responses to the food images, but it also increased total activity for the rest of the day. Interestingly, the women did not eat more food on the exercise day to make up for the extra calories they had burned in the exercise earlier that day. In fact, they ate approximately the same amount of food on the non-exercise day. This study provides evidence that morning exercise affects how people respond to food cues for the rest of the day. Now, timing your walks after meals has several advantages. First, walking after eating may regulate your blood sugar, best to start walking as soon as possible after finishing a meal, since blood sugar levels tend to spike between 60 and 90 minutes after eating, and insulin soon follows the blood sugar spike. You can bring the spike down in the blood by walking. You don't need to take a long walk. Even 10 minutes is really good. You can choose to walk after any or after every meal that you eat that day. A study in the sports medicine found that when people went for a light walk after eating, their blood sugar levels rose and fell more gradually than if they were standing or continued sitting. Participants' insulin levels also remained more stable during walking than when standing or sitting. Walking after a meal can also quickly shift our bodies from fat storage to fat burning. As I mentioned earlier, after our meal, our blood sugar levels rise, causing a significant rise in insulin in the bloodstream as well. This also means our body is now gone into fat storage mode until our sugars come down in the bloodstream. Going for a walk after a meal can quickly help lower blood sugar and decrease the insulin spike in the bloodstream. So the quicker we can burn off the sugar by walking, then the quicker we can get out of the fat storage zone and enter the fat burning zone. Walking after meals may also help with food and sugar cravings. Studies suggest that quick walk might be a helpful strategy to manage food cravings effectively. A study from the University of Exeter showed that 15-minute bouts of moderate intensity exercise, or in other words, brisk walking, reduced cravings for sugary snacks. It also decreased cravings and urges to eat chocolate associated with stress-induced situations, even if food cues were presented to the overweight people. So a quick 15-minute walk can curb cravings for chocolate and even reduce the amount of chocolate eaten in a stressful situation. This probably happens because walking has been shown to decrease hunger hormones such as ghrelin, and in turn helps reduce overall food cravings. Walking may also reduce cravings by serving as a distraction when these cravings hit. Walking after meals can also help lower blood pressure. Hypertension is one of the leading causes of heart disease and stroke. A study in the Journal of Family Medicine and Primary Care found that taking 3 10-minute walks can help reduce diastolic blood pressure in people with elevated blood pressure. Additionally, research has shown that walking effectively reduces systolic and diastolic blood pressure for adults with high blood pressure. Those with more severe hypertension saw a more significant reduction. Walking after a meal can also aid in digestion. A study published in PLOS One found that walking stimulates the stomach and intestines, aiding in digestion. This can help move food through the digestive system more rapidly, and this rapid movement can reduce bloating, especially beneficial for those with irritable bowel syndrome. Bloating occurs when gas builds up in the digestive tract as undigested food is broken down, and also when you swallow air as you eat and drink. Physical activity such as walking can help move some of that excess gas through the digestive tract. So bloating, constipation, and acid reflux, and an upset stomach can be relieved with a quick walk after a meal. Walking can also make you regular, meaning it ensures that everything works its way through your digestive system so you're not constipated. After you eat, you want your body to absorb what it needs and then expel the rest. Although constipation per se doesn't cause weight gain, it can temporarily increase the weight on the scales, giving you a false reading on your current weight. Now, evening walks or exercise. Walking in the evening returns your body to a fat-burning state sooner. For most people, the evening meal tends to be the largest of the day and also the most calorie-rich. After your evening meal, your blood sugar rises, as I mentioned previously, and walking helps to bring the sugar levels down. This means your insulin will also come down faster. This will help return your body to a fasted state quicker than if you didn't go for a walk in the evening. Getting into a fasted state with a walk in the evening means that your body will shift into a fat-burning mode faster while you are sleeping. So going to bed in this state enhances fat metabolism at night. Exercising in the evening has also been shown to be beneficial in lowering heart disease. The study published in the Journal of Diabetes Care examined exercise routines and outcomes of 30,000 obese people analyzed over 8 years. They found that those who did moderate to vigorous activity in the evening had lowest risk of mortality, followed by those who exercise in the afternoon and then in the morning. Basically, they found that people who exercise at night have a lower risk of developing heart disease and dying than those who exercise in the morning. Walking in the evening also helps regulate your circadian rhythms, as it enhances the body's natural sleep-wake cycle, making it easier to fall asleep and having a deeper restorative rest. Walking can decrease blood cortisol levels, calming your body to set the stage for a good night's sleep. Cortisol is the body's main stress hormone and can have an effect of controlling blood sugar levels, regulating the body's sleep-wake cycle, and preventing fat burning if the levels get too high in the blood. So by walking in the evening, you can decrease cortisol levels and create an optimal environment for fat burning. Walking in the evening also has an added benefit of lowering your post-meal stomach discomfort, which can also interrupt sleep throughout the night. The best time to walk is also when you're feeling sad or stressed. Many studies have shown that walking reduces stress levels and enhances mental well-being. Walking outdoors in the fresh air in the natural environment is even better and can help de-stress and reduce our stress hormones. Stress can play a role in fat gain as it increases cortisol levels. Higher levels of cortisol are directly associated with belly fat. Walking also releases endorphins, feel-good chemicals, which can improve mood and potentially reduce the desire to eat for emotional reasons. So the next time you're feeling a bit down, going for a walk might make you feel good enough to keep you away from junk food. Best time to walk or move your body is when you've been sitting for long periods of time. Unfortunately, many people are sedentary these days, working long hours in the office behind a computer and sitting all day long. If you do have an office job, then you're probably sitting for extended periods of time. It's important to simply get up every hour and go for a walk for about 5 minutes. A 5-minute walk every hour will give you about 40 minutes of extra walking in an 8-hour day, which is equivalent to about 4,000 steps. So each 5-minute bout can add up really easily. The human body was never meant to sit for long periods of time in a chair. It's unnatural. While you're engaged in your work, your body ends up having bad posture, slouching over your desk, and really switching off. Therefore, getting up every hour also helps to re-engage your body and stretch it out, switching everything back on and helping to straighten out your body. Sitting too much can also have negative effects on your health, partly because of the lack of calories that are burned throughout the day, and long periods of sitting can burn fewer calories, which can lead to weight gain. For more information on this, see my previous video on the fastest and simplest way to burn fat and lose weight without exercise. How much time should you be spending in any one activity? Well, according to the new research, there's a Goldilocks formula for how much time you should spend on any one activity. So the researchers analyzed the behaviors of 2,000 people over a 24-hour period and determined the optimal amount of time we should be spending sitting, sleeping, standing, and being physically active for optimal health. According to this research, the ideal balance in a 24-hour period is 6 hours of sitting, 5 hours and 10 minutes of standing, 8 hours and 20 minutes of sleeping, 2 hours and 10 minutes of light-intensity physical activity, 2 hours and 10 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity. Now, these times are set up for overall optimal health. According to the researchers, people may advocate for more time spent exercising. However, having 10 hours of exercise and 0 time of sedentary behavior is not feasible either. The time for activity has to be realistic and balanced. Sleeping may be detrimental to health if it replaces exercise time, but beneficial if it replaces sedentary activity. They suggested that light-intensity physical activity should range from chores to making dinner, but moderate to vigorous physical activity involves intentional movement, such as brisk walks or gym workouts. The researchers also suggested moving as much as possible instead of sitting in front of a screen. The research findings also suggest that replacing time sitting with greater time in physical activity, especially light, intense physical activity, was associated with more beneficial blood sugar levels in those with type 2 diabetes. So according to this research, shorter sitting time, more time spending standing, undergoing physical activity, and sleeping greatly boosts our cardiometabolic health. In summary, I want to emphasize to you that you should try to move as much as possible regardless of the time of day. Having the time to walk and exercise really depends on your schedule and your family responsibilities. However, if you can choose, then it appears that walking in the morning before breakfast and an empty stomach or in the evening after your meal would be beneficial for fat burning and calorie burn. However, doing moderate vigorous activity in the evening seems to be better for preventing heart disease. I hope this video has been helpful. Have a look at last week's video in which I discussed the best animal protein for appetite control and weight loss. But to really get the results you want, make sure you come back to next week's video on vitamin D. If you've enjoyed the contents of this video, please like and subscribe and share it with anybody who might benefit from it. This is Dr. Sebely Pal. See you next week.